She shattered me once and tried to come back after 8 years. But I wasn't that man anymore. Hi everyone, welcome back to Breakup Cheater. Thanks for joining us. Today's story is one that digs deep into betrayal, growth, and what it truly means to move on. So sit tight, grab a coffee, and let's begin. My name is Nathan. And sometimes, the past doesn't stay buried, no matter how deeply you try to leave it behind. 8 years ago, I walked away from someone I once believed I'd grow old with. Her name was Rachel. At one time, she was more than my girlfriend. She was my confidant, my best friend, my future. We had been planning our wedding, discussing kids, and figuring out where to build our life together. I truly believed we were on the same page. But I was wrong. And when I left, I didn't just break up with Rachel. I erased the entire chapter. We didn't speak again. Not a text. Not an accidental run-in. It was like the universe carved a trench between us and kept it sealed shut. At the time, I thought maybe it was divine mercy. Maybe I had escaped something much worse than a broken heart. I thought that chapter was over. I was wrong. A few months ago, a close friend of mine, Marcus, invited me to a private dinner party. It was his 10th wedding anniversary, and he wanted to celebrate it with the people who had walked with him through different seasons of life. College buddies, old co-workers, childhood neighbors. It wasn't a big crowd, but a meaningful one. I hadn't seen most of those people in years, so I welcomed the chance to reconnect. The venue was cozy, a quiet little hall tucked behind a cafe. The lighting was warm, the atmosphere calm, a far cry from the loud, chaotic parties of our younger days. I stood near a small buffet table, sipping ginger ale and chatting with Marcus' cousin when I saw her. Rachel. 8 years vanished in a breath. She hadn't seen me yet. But I saw her, and for a few seconds the world went silent. I was frozen in place. My body didn't react, but my heart did. The woman who had shattered my life in one of the most personal and painful ways stood just across the room, smiling at someone like she hadn't once destroyed me. I wasn't prepared for that. See, Rachel wasn't just any ex. She wasn't a fling or a high school flame. She was someone I'd trusted with everything, my time, my heart, my future. And she didn't just betray me. She wrecked me, in ways I didn't even realize until years later. Let me take you back. I was 22 when I landed my first real job in tech. It was a young company with big ambitions. I was hungry, focused, and determined to prove myself. My boss, Eric, wasn't just a manager. He was a self-made man, quiet, wise, and deeply respected. I admired him not just for his professional success, but for the way he carried himself. He became a mentor to me, a father figure almost. He saw something in me, took me under his wing. And for someone like me, who grew up without a strong male role model, that meant everything. Over time, Eric became more than a boss. He was a guide. He gave advice when I needed it, opened doors for me, believed in me when I wasn't sure I deserved it. When I got promoted after 2 years, I was ecstatic. My career was finally gaining momentum. And in my personal life, things were perfect. I had been with Rachel for 4 years, and I knew I wanted to marry her. So I went to Eric, the man I trusted most, and told him I planned to propose. He smiled, told me she was a great catch. He even offered to help plan something special if I needed ideas. Felt like a moment of celebration. It would turn out to be one of my biggest regrets. About a month later, everything imploded. It was a regular Wednesday evening. The office was nearly empty. I was finishing up a report and noticed a discrepancy. Wanting to clarify it before sending it off, I walked to Eric's office. His light was on. I didn't knock. I never had to. After hours, things were informal between us. I opened the door, and the world as I knew it shattered. Rachel. My Rachel. Sitting on his couch. Her blouse was halfway undone. Eric's tie was loose. Their bodies were too close. Hands were where they shouldn't be. She jumped up like she'd seen a ghost. He straightened himself, calm and calculated. I said nothing. Couldn't. The shock was too raw, too total. I turned around, left the office, and drove home in silence. That night, I sat in the dark for hours. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. Just shut down. By sunrise, I knew what I had to do. First, I ended things with Rachel. She begged, claimed it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything. But to me, it meant everything. It meant betrayal from the two people I trusted most. Then I typed a one-line resignation. I can't work under someone I no longer respect. I left that office for good. No warning. No goodbyes. That same day, I packed up my apartment, moved out of the city, and disappeared. I cut contact with everyone tied to that past. Months later, one former coworker reached out. Good guy. Someone I had trusted. He confessed he had known, or at least suspected. He said whispers had been floating around, but no one said a word. No one wanted to get involved. Felt like a clown. Like I had been the naive fool everyone pitted behind closed doors. But I didn't lash out. Just rebuilt. For the next few years I focused on work. On healing. On rediscovering who I was outside of that betrayal. It wasn't quick. It wasn't easy. But slowly it happened. 3 years later I met someone new. Alyssa. She didn't sweep me off my feet with passion or drama. She gave me something else. Peace. Safety. Honesty. 2 years after meeting her, I married her. And that's when I finally knew. Rachel was a chapter that ended exactly as it needed to. So when I saw Rachel again at Marcus' party, part of me tensed up. But most of me? I was just calm. She walked over. Said my name like it was yesterday. Nathan, wow, it's been forever. He nodded. Yeah, it has. She looked older. Still beautiful, yes, but the sparkle in her eyes had dimmed. Her smile faltered when she realized I wasn't falling into nostalgia. She told me she was married. I said, that's good. I'm happy for you. She hesitated, then said something unexpected. I owe you an apology. She admitted she'd chased power. That the thrill of being with a man like Eric clouded her judgment. That she didn't realize what she had with me until I was gone. She told me things I hadn't known, like how Eric's wife had found out just weeks after I left. How the fallout had destroyed him. How Eric dropped her immediately. She said she was left alone, humiliated, with nothing but regret. I listened. And when she was done, I told her the only thing I had left to give. Thanks for saying that. And I walked away. The next morning I got a text from an unknown number. It was Rachel. She said asterisk. Hey, I noticed you left early last night. Was hoping we could talk more. Maybe meet up. Asterisk. Pause. Thought about everything that could come from replying. And then I replied. I appreciate the apology, but I have no interest in reconnecting. Let's leave it at that. That should have been the end. But it wasn't. A second message followed. I know you're married now, but I'd do anything to take that spot back. That was it. That was the final confirmation I needed. This woman hadn't changed. She was married, yet still chasing ghosts. So I replied. You made your choice. I've moved on. You should focus on your husband, not mine. Then I blocked her. You see, healing doesn't always come with fireworks or tears. Sometimes it's just the quiet certainty that you've outgrown someone. That the door they want to reopen only leads to ruin. Some people carry chaos like perfume, at first intoxicating but always staining the peace around them. I didn't hate Rachel. I didn't even feel bitter. I just knew I never wanted that scent in my life again. Thanks for listening. If this story resonated with you or reminded you of a time you had to walk away from someone who once felt like home, drop a comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Breakup Cheater for more real stories every week. Until next time, stay strong, and don't reopen doors that were closed for your protection.